Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project. Today we're going to be using a few items from Spellbinders. Everything I do use I shall put on my blog, and there will be links for the Spellbinders items that you can go straight through to their website to get a full description and get more information and see everything else they've got. The items that we're going to be using are some medallion stamps. Now we're going to be using them as if they're snowflakes, because I think sometimes you get stamps and you only use them as they are. Well, for this we're going to use them a little bit different. So the medallion stamps, and we're going to make them into Christmas snowflakes. So that'll be great. Then we're also going to be using the silhouette die of the children with the snowman and the Christmas tree. And we're also going to be using a couple of the word dies. Be merry and believe. On my sheet, because I've taken mine out of the packaging, so this is one die that you would purchase, and this is a set of dies, or you would get all these, the words, and then this is a separate one. You would get yours packaged properly. I've mounted mine just on magnetic sheets just for storage. So we're going to be using two of the word dies, be merry and believe. And the believe word, now this is a quick tip for anybody that stores dies like I do. When you look at the believe word, you can't really tell what it says, and every time I look at it, it makes me wonder, what does that say? Which die is that? So just to save my poor brain from thinking that, I've die cut it and I've just stuck it on my sheet so that I know that this die that doesn't look anything backwards actually is this one. So that's just a quick tip for you. So those are the items that we're going to be using from Spellbinders. We're going to be starting off with our blank card, which is classed as a 6x6 inch card, but in actual fact it's just less than 6x6 inch card. And I don't know why manufacturers do that. They say it's 6x6 on the packet, but you open it and it isn't. It's actually the envelopes then that turn out to be 6x6. So this is roughly a 5 3/4 inch by 5 3/4 inch card. This would also work on other shaped cards, because I know in different countries card shapes vary in postage sizes, postage prices. So don't worry if I'm doing a square card and you think, oh no, it costs more in the US to send a square card. I'm ready. Don't do square ones. Stick to your favourite. Stick to 7x5. Well, try and adapt it. Use the same idea, but maybe on a different size card. So it would probably work with this one. So the first thing we're going to do is use our bone folder to make a good sharp score along the edge. And we're going to decorate the inside first. Now, the inside of this card is really simple. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of white cardstock and I've used the medallion stamps and I've stamped around the edge, and then I've watercoloured the inside of them. Now, if you've watched, I'm just trying to think when it will have been last week, the Spellbinders project for the I'd Fall For You card. That has the watercolouring technique in it. I will put a link on my blog linking back to the watercolouring card, because that will show you how I've done the watercolouring for any of the techniques, because it's very simple and very straightforward. So I've simply stamped the medallions round the edge in a midnight blue stays on ink, and it must be a stays on ink or a permanent ink if you're going to watercolour, because then that'll save the ink running. I've also tapped the edge of the card with a stays on ink. So you can see how messy it is on the back, because I started off using my watercolour to do the edge, and then I went back to the stays on. So I'm just going to simply add this to the centre of our card, like that. So that's the start of our insert. And just so that we've got a sentiment inside, I've die cut the words "Be merry." Now I'm going to use my handy gadget that's on the top of my glossy accents, which is the fine nib, to be able to let the glue flow from, and hopefully I will be able to add enough glue to it without making a mess. So just adding it in a few areas and not overdoing it. And then we can add our sentiment into the middle like that. Now I've got to say the tip for the glossy accents is one of my best purchases in a long time, because I use glossy accents for so much and it just helps with the fine work. So again, I'll put a link on my website for that. So that's our inside finished, and I die cut the Be Merry out of navy blue cardstock, so that matches in with everything else. So now we can turn our attention to the outside. We're just going to use our bone folder again and make a nice sharp crease. Now for the background of this card, I've used the medallion stamp again, and I've actually used watercolour card. Instead of using white card, I've used watercolour card, and you can see how it's just curled slightly. Don't worry about that, and I've got extra tape on the back of it to help it stick. It will sit flat when you mount it onto your card. Again, this is one of the techniques in the I'd Fall For You card project, because it's all watercolouring, and it just goes to show you don't have to be an artist to be able to watercolour. So it's watercolour card because it holds the colour and the moisture from the water brushes, and when you're painting, it's not expensive. It's not, I'm not going to use the word cheap. It's inexpensive, and I got mine from that large auction site, which I am a fan of, and I think it cost me about £4 for about 15 sheets of A4. So, but considering you're not using it on every card, you're only going to use it on cards that you watercolour in, shall we say, I think it's worth it. So I'm just going to pop that on the front of my card. So I've stamped the medallions and watercoloured them in from the technique I show on a previous video, and then I've left the base of this blank. So what I'm going to do is die cut the snowman and the children, and some sections when you die cut are difficult to get rid of some of the bits. So if you haven't got one of the super duper roller tools, and maybe you've only got a pokey tool, poke through so it will release any little bits that are left. Now what I've done is I've added just double-sided tape on the back of this, and I've added it just in a few different areas, and I can add this now to my card, and I'm going to add it simply a little bit above the bottom like that. And this is navy blue cardstock, so now it's mounted onto my card, and then I've got a strip of navy blue card, And I'm going to add this across the bottom of the card like that, so it covers the edge and goes over the edge of our card. So we need to trim the excess away like that, and we do it on both sides like that. There we go. Get rid of those into my rubbish pot there. So now we've got our silhouette on our medallion snowflake background, and I can finish the card with the word believe. So I'm going to use my glue again and just add the glue to the back of the word like that, and just add in, like we did for the inside, finding the wider sections of the word and adding glue where the wider bits are. So then I can add the word down onto the panel like that, press it down, hold it for a few seconds to make sure it adheres to the card, and that is our card finished. A very quick and easy card, and the inside is, there's enough room for you to and from, a tiny little message, and the outside with the silhouette against those gorgeous snowflakes. It stands up nicely. Now don't forget, because it's a silhouette and we've put it flat, there's no depth to the card whatsoever. So postage should be for a flat card, nothing raised on it. You could raise the silhouette away from the card. You could do so much with it, but I wanted to show you something that was simple and easy and quick, but with the watercolour effect that's bringing different techniques in rather than just die cutting and putting it on. So that is a gorgeous Christmas card, ideal for so many people, and you can adapt the colours. So it would be great with the black silhouette and the white and the snowflakes, etc. Add a little bit of glitter, make it your own, make it flitter with the glitter. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching this. Check my blog for all the details. You can always comment on there if you want to reply, or on Facebook. If you comment on YouTube, I can't reply to you, but it's not because I'm being rude, it's just because I can't reply. There's a problem with my YouTube account and they've not fixed it. It's an ongoing issue, and it's just one of those things. Check out the rest of my projects. If you've enjoyed this, please share it with your crafty friends. And thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.